You are listening to the Weird Realities Network, where we bring you news from the Weirdverse 2, 3, and sometimes 4 times a week. Not much is off topic because we embrace our weird on our quest to expand our minds. You can find our team discussing everything from world history, weird science, chemistry, cryptozoology, lost civilizations, and holistic and health healing practices. Created by authors, researchers, and mystics, Weird Realities is for those looking to meet others who challenge them to think outside of what is considered normal and wonder, what if?
Wow, that guy sounded pretty cool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, doesn't he?
That was a good intro.
I was thinking we need to get one of our own because that like does nothing for anything that we do here. It doesn't
Yep.
mention anything. The snark, the
Snot.
crazy,
Us?
the snarky,
The
snarky,
essence.
snark.
I told
The
you.
Tony,
gravitas.
thank you very much for the happy birthday.
That maybe. Maybe,
Oh,
Greg.
thank you,
You
Mike.
never know.
Okay.
Oh, that's
That's the
nice.
sweetest
I like-
thing.
I
Aw.
like Mike's, yes.
And then Landa said,
Yeah.
"Happy birthday, Hadley!" Right after that.
Well, thank you, Landa.
Oh, look who's here. Chassie Mean. So long. I haven't seen
Chassie!
you
I
forever.
have missed that beautiful woman.
Yes.
She's-
Hi,
she's
Chassie.
Glad to have you back, Chassie.
Hi, baby.
Well, I'm super excited tonight because the guys picked some great movies for me to watch for my birthday, and I picked one for them, which I'm really excited. So just so y'all know, neither Rich nor Alan had ever seen Dirty Dancing. I don't know how that happened, but they didn't. So this week, in honor of my birthday, they watched it. So I'm going to
We
let you
did.
guys kick it off with that and let me know what you thought about the Dirty Dancing.
So Rich's not seeing Dirty Dancing was a tactical decision. But now I have seen it. So I was forced. It was torture. They held me down. I'm still bleeding.
Hey, thanks, Alan. Alan Lassiter's wishing me happy birthday. Well, so what did you think about it?
So you should do your shtick first on the Dirty Dancing, and then we'll tell you what we thought about it. Do you want to just launch into it right now? What we thought about it?
Well, I can't believe nobody's seen it. Which is
I've
the
seen
big
it
reason.
before.
But I rewatched it. I enjoyed it just as much now as I did in the 80s when it came out. I think this came out with like 86, 87.
87.
Yeah. So I was in high school. I remember we went to Mardi Gras, went with a friend of mine and her family, and this was the soundtrack we listened to. And it is one of the best soundtracks. I love it now. Great old music. It's just, to me, this is just a timeless classic. I love watching the dancing, but more importantly, I love me some Jennifer Grey in this movie. She plays awkward so well, and I identify with that awkwardness so well. Um, anyway, but yeah,
Stay there.
if I need to, do I
Right,
need
it
to
does.
tell anybody what this is about?
Well, if you want, if you're in the mood to rev up for that.
I still don't know what this is about. Angst.
It's
I
just
suppose.
it is a
Young
family, a doctor family. They're on their vacation, which was a big thing. I'm thinking up north was where you went to these big camps like in the Poconos, right?
The Catskills.
Yeah, Catskills. So yeah, they go and while she's there, she's about to go to college and she's very close with her father. So it has a lot to do with that dynamic with she doesn't want to disappoint her father, but she's growing up and things happen and it tests the strength of their relationship, and at the same time she falls in love with this on the surface looks like a bad boy, but he's really a great stand-up guy. And so it kind of teaches you that what is on the surface isn't necessarily what's underneath, and that's kind of the whole message of this movie, which is look deeper. um I like it. I'm not going to get into details just because, like I said, I feel like everybody's seen it but the two of y'all.
Well,
I
I'm
saw
not going to
it.
shit all over your movie.
You
I'm
can.
not gonna shit all over your movie
Look,
because
I
it's your
got deep
birthday.
impacts coming up. So
I saw
No
it.
such compulsions.
I saw it when it first came out. I'm not going to deny any of what you said. I think Jennifer Gray did a good job. I thought the acting was good. I just didn't like the movie. It didn't appeal to me in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going to rate it because it's like with a book. There could be a book that's really well written. It's good. Everybody loves it. I don't like it. That doesn't mean it's not good. That's why I couldn't bring myself to watch it again, even though I haven't seen it in like 40 years.
This is a movie. If I would have watched it back then, I probably would have liked it because I did like the soundtrack. I didn't care for the Swayze song. I've never cared for that Swayze song. That song
well, no,
drives. She's like the wind. That song drives me
it doesn't even
nuts.
fit in. Doesn't even fit
But
in the
the
soundtrack
hungry,
of the movie.
yeah, the Hungry Eyes, Eric Carmen. That was like my favorite song off this soundtrack. Um, let's see, pluses in this. Patrick Swayze, um, Cynthia Rhodes. She was in Flashdance too. Did you know that? Playing a similar character.
Is that
She was
the
married to
dancer?
Richard Marx. Yeah, yep. That was a plus. Newman from Seinfeld was in this. A young Newman. Um, what else? 1987. That was a good year for me. Um, I'm sorry. I just this movie just was not for me. And if I would have saw it back then, I might have liked it. But I'm looking at it through eyes right now, and I can't put myself back into that just because the type of movie it is. None of my friends wanted to go see it, so I never went and saw it. We wanted to see Red Dawn and
Yes.
The
Yes.
Outsiders.
A different Swayze movie.
Yeah.
A different Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze.
And even that
He
one
was
where he's in
such
the
a
desert as
baby in
an
this
apocalyptic
movie.
nomad. Yeah, I know it's like Roadhouse. It's a classic for some people, so I can't shit all over it because there's movies I love. The Peeps animated movie that people would shit all over. So I'm not going to. I can see why a lot of people have a lot of love for this movie. I'm just
Dirty
not one.
Dancing. Dirty Dancing League.
Well, Lee Edwards and Doc Fried showed up.
Yes.
What's up,
Yeah.
guys?
Ash is here.
I saw Ash
Lots
come
of
in.
love
Good
out
job,
there
Lee.
tonight.
Yeah.
We're talking about Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
And to me, I think
And
this
they're
is.
loathing. They're loathing. What is
No,
the word
I
I'm
mean,
looking for?
So the purpose of this movie was not the same purpose as Red Dawn, another Patrick Swayze movie. This is a Romeo and Juliet movie with the classic, rich girl, poor guy. And like Hadley said, you're supposed to think he's a dirtbag at the beginning, and he ends up being a super nice guy. And there's all kinds. This is one of those teen angst movies that was like a little older than teen. It was a young adult angst movie with, you got the pregnancy and you got somebody blaming somebody for stealing something, and yay, all of that. But to me, there was just no consistency to it. It was just kind of all over the place. And all they wanted to do was grab young girls and say, you can be awesome. And for that, it's pretty good. That was great. That was the message that I was getting. It was like, you can do anything. And as long as you have the right person to help you, and that right person might not be who you think. So I thought that message was pretty good. But the movie as a whole, it was painful for me to get through. It was just not my type of movie.
Yeah.
And
Well, okay, I'm going to get political here when I talk about it. So I'm sorry to anyone who I offend. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I really like this movie because it still today touches on topics that are, problematic in our society. Which one is the girl that, it's the 60s. This is before Roe versus Wade. She goes and gets a back alley procedure done, and she has a horrible reaction. And that is very pertinent to today's society, which, like I said, seeing this, I don't even want to date myself. So 87, how many years ago was that? Someone count for me. I'm not good with numbers. But anyone?
37.
Let's just say it's a long time, but it's still we've basically have gone back to that being a problem now, and so it was interesting to see that aspect of it. Um, but it wasn't one of those, like, I feel like in some movies today that they really shove their agenda in your face, and this really wasn't. It was just part of the story and a
It
very,
was shoving Patrick
solid.
Swayze's hips in my face. That's what
Yeah.
it was
They
doing,
could they
Abby.
could shove Patrick
I
Swayze's
don't
hips in my
dispute
face.
any of
All
that,
I'm gonna
Hadley.
say.
Everything you said is correct. It definitely portrays things. There's a lot of messages there. But for me, the messages were what they were, but the movie was just flat. It was not good. It certainly isn't an action movie. And like I said, there is a lot of intrigue in it, but the intrigue was just kind of slow. And this is for me. This is my opinion. It's not a movie I'm ever going to watch again. Yeah. And there are chick flicks out there that I do like, and this is absolutely a chick flick. But it just wasn't for me. And that was one of the reasons I didn't watch it when I was younger, because I felt that it was going to be the same thing. And I had guys who were boyfriends to girls that they went to see it at the movies with them, and they came out and they said it's exactly what you think it is. So I never really watched it. I don't think it was a terrible movie. I don't think it was bad at all. It just wasn't movie. It wasn't
Well,
for me.
this definitely isn't a movie I would pick for Thursday nights. The only reason I picked it is A, it's my birthday, and B, y'all haven't seen it, and it
Yeah,
is a good
that's fair.
movie.
That's fair.
And like I said, I enjoyed watching it. It was a fun movie for me to watch. I hate that y'all hate it, and Lee Edwards is right. Nobody puts Rich Restucci in the corner.
I don't hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I really think it's a good movie. If you enjoy romantic, non-rom-coms, it wasn't my thing. I saw it. Okay, I can say I've seen it, but like Rich, I'll never watch it again.
It's got some great lines in it, though. Y'all have to admit.
he hated saying that line. Nobody puts baby in the corner. He hated that line.
That's not the line. My favorite
what's the
line
line?
is, I carried a watermelon. It's the epitome of, I'm just awkward and you're hot. There was a guy that I had a crush on that I swear that was a comment I would have made to him. Yes. But I enjoy it. Like I said, I love the awkwardness of Jennifer Grey when she's first around Patrick Swayze's character, because you can tell she's just totally Twitter-pated by him. Clueless is a better movie, Craig.
Chassis, I liked Clueless. I actually enjoyed that film. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I like Clueless too.
Yeah.
Was that
My kids watched it. So
was that the one about the blonde?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone.
Yes.
It was the modern take on Jane Austen's Persuasion, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But I think Landa's right. Y'all loved it. You just don't want to lose your man card, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
it just didn't appeal to me back then, and when I watched it, which you got me off my ass to watch it, so
same.
Kudos to you there, Hadley. I would have probably died without
as many bad movies as y'all make me watch. I appreciate you taking one for the team.
Oh, there are way worse movies out there than this.
Yes,
there is.
Not the worst movie
the
in the world.
soundtrack. I mean, did y'all not even enjoy the soundtrack? I mean,
the soundtrack.
The music was good.
Yeah.
I love the music. I love the dancing. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed spending my Saturday watching it, and I appreciate the fact that y'all cared enough to watch it too.
I'm gonna have to get with Lee Edwards, and we're gonna have to work on this Pete dance video for you guys. That sounds like a great idea. It sounds like
the two of you ought to wear Peep outfits, and you ought to run and jump into Lee's arms.
There you go.
Well,
my hands go through the Peep.
So
no, like I said, Hadley, you got me off my ass to watch this movie. I probably would have died not seeing this movie. So
I appreciate
thanks for that. That's another one under my belt. So, but I just didn't like it. It's not my kind of movie.
You and Tina didn't do any dancing after it was over?
Well, I'm not at liberty to say, but no, actually, she didn't like it.
There was no dirty dancing going on at the Gamboa house. Is that what you're saying?
It's always Dirty Dancing.
More dirty than
Always
dancing.
Dirty Dancing going around, either solo or together. Some, but yeah, somebody, I think Lee Edwards said Black Dog. That's a better movie than Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze. If you
No,
want to see
Patrick
good
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze for me is The Outsiders. He's, Red Dawn. Ghost. He made a number of very good films, but yeah, I still like the Dirty Dancing. Oh yeah, Tu Wong Fu. He was a beautiful woman
That's
too.
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but yes, he
So
great
Ghost is
great
supposed to
actor,
be
great
something?
man.
And Ghost is a great movie. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it had a great story to it. This just didn't. The story to this was just, but
Yeah,
Ghost had a fantastic
It
story.
was a
Yeah.
love. It was a love story. There was nothing. There wasn't like the paranormal aspect, like in Ghosts, or
Yeah, of
that,
course.
or like in the love story I picked.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all rate it?
I'm not, because if I rate it, I'm going to rate it how I feel about it, but the movie deserves much better. So,
Nice. That's a very nice way of putting that. Hats off to Scott Baker.
thank you.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 for you, Hadley.
So Alan got lucky after watching Dirty Dancing, is what I'm thinking for that rate.
That was
I had to wear
kind.
that Patrick Swayze mask.
I give it a 3, and that's a gift. I'll give it a 3 because of the impact that it had, across the ages. People still talk about it. Nobody puts baby in the corner. That's everybody knows where that comes from. So I'll give it a 3.
Mike asked a question: did they remake Dirty Dancing? I don't think so.
I think they did a Dirty
made a
Dancing
Dirty
too,
Dancing
and I'll tell
Havana.
y'all, this is just a little sideline bit of trivia here, but the woman who wrote and directed Dirty Dancing, cannot remember her name, but she is a Jewish writer and director, and when at some point in time when I was working at the synagogue, she actually called and talked to the rabbi. So
wow.
he was like, "That's the lady that wrote Dirty Dancing." So anyway, just a bit of trivia there. But it was kind of my
You're
brush with
connected.
fame.
Ash is saying he'd rather sit through Thanksgiving one again. I'll tell you a movie that makes Dirty Dancing look fantastic: English Patient.
Oh.
I've never cried so much as I cried watching that English Patient movie.
Yeah, I did too, because I had to sit there. At the end of the movie, when he's carrying her, and he goes, "I love you," and she goes, "I love you." No, when he's carrying, she goes, "I love you." I said to my wife at the time, I says, if she'd said that an hour and a half ago, I could be home watching the game. But the guy behind me laughed and then got hit by his girlfriend.
Well,
Thanks,
I
Cassie.
enjoy
You
these.
did-
I enjoy these dancing movies. Just that's like my dirty secret. I really do enjoy the dancing movies. I recently watched the one with Channing Tatum and his wife. I think they're divorced now, but it was like where they met. It's just I love to watch them. I love to watch dancing. I mean, people who ballet dancers especially, it is something that is so beautiful. The athleticism and the grace is just something that is just beyond, and I am a not graceful person, so I really enjoy that sort of thing. But
Well, I love Electric Boogaloo and Electric Boogaloo 2. Those are my kind of dancing movies.
So 2 movies for me, not dancing movies, but with dancing in it, were Blast from the Past. I don't know if you guys saw that with Brendan Fraser and again Alicia Silverstone, and My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin. There's a dancing scene in there with him and Rick Moranis. It's great.
I don't think I remember that.
It was good. So I
Like
like
the one where he's a mobster.
Yeah, he's a mobster and he's witness relocation program.
Oh yes.
So, the movie's it's okay. It's a cute movie, but that scene I like the dancing scene. And Blast from the Past. That's if you guys haven't seen that film, I mean that's another chick flick, but it's great. It's a good movie, and he did. Brendan Fraser dances with these two girls, and it's fantastic. They do a good job.
Chassis is a lady
Chassis,
after my own
let's see
heart.
that.
There, yeah, I
See
did.
that?
I've seen all 3 of those movies too.
And for the dancing, right? I
I
mean,
am
the
convinced
classical dancing.
if anybody has seen the first Magic Mike and they've seen Striptease, I'm convinced that the Matthew McConaughey character is derived from the Burt Reynolds character from Striptease. Which
I haven't seen it.
I want someone to agree or disagree, but they need to know what I'm talking about. So somebody watch, tell me later. But I appreciate y'all watching this, and I also appreciate that y'all love me enough to bring me movies that had World War II, zombies, and doomsday.
Robert Duvall.
I love the smell of the end of the world in the morning.
Yeah, there we go.
I love Robert Duvall.
Apocalypse.
So this is something y'all don't know either, but one of my dad's best friends was in the air cab that's portrayed in Apocalypse Now.
Was
He
in
was
the
one of the
wow.
helicopter pilots. Yep.
Oh,
Still living.
Oh, well. Oh, man. So what's next?
let's stay with romances. I'll do Hanover Street.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
I picked this one. It's an older movie, 1979. It's a love story. It's corny as hell. It starts off with let me get the characters' names. Hang on, my mouse here is insane. Starts off with Harrison Ford. He plays a B-25 pilot in World War II based in London, David Halloran. And he's waiting to get on the bus. And this very pretty young woman, Leslie Ann Down, cuts in front of him. So he cuts in front of her, and, you know, just before she gets on the bus, he taps her shoulder, and he jumps on the bus. And as the bus pulls away, she pretends, oh, my baby. So he jumps off to help her, and she gets up and gives him this smile and goes, oh, you know, you missed your bus. So he looks very dejected, and he goes limping across the street. And she's like, oh, my God. So she runs over. It's like, I'm really sorry. And he does this pirouette back to the bus stop. So the two of them like each other. They go out. They have drinks. And during a bombing raid, they wind up falling in love and having an affair. Leslie Ann Downs, who plays Margaret, her husband is Christopher Plummer. He is a SIS officer, and they're trying to set up a mission to go into Nazi Germany to pick up certain documents. And it turns out that now at the beginning, Harrison Ford is this cocky. It's like Han Solo, except he's in a B-25 without the Wookiee. But once he meets her, he starts becoming very timid. He doesn't want to fly the dangerous missions. He really wants to get back to her. So he's told he has to fly a dangerous mission. He has to fly a spy into Germany. Turns out the spy is Christopher Plummer, Leslie Ann Down's husband, who is leading the mission. So the plane gets shot down. Only two of them survive, Harrison Ford and Christopher Plummer. And they go through a typical cheap, cheesy, late 70s, early 80s spy type movie. But Harrison Ford knows that he's having an affair with Christopher Plummer's wife. And Christopher Plummer has no idea. And all he does is talk about his lovely wife and how he wants to come back. And it's corny. It really is corny. I liked it. I thought the plot was fairly well written out. I mean, the fact that, you know, the two of them are together fighting for their lives against the Nazis was kind of unique. I thought Hadley might like this one. It's different enough. It's a different enough love story that I thought she might get a kick out of it. And I know.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
I'm so glad to hear you say that it was campy.
It was.
I was like, what the hell? What the hell has Scott got me watching? It was interesting to see because first off, y'all know that Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones and Han Solo has ruined me for all men for the rest of my life because I love me a smart ass man and I blame him. And this movie, I think, was actually kind of sandwiched between the two, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
after Star Wars, but before
Yep.
Raiders.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess maybe they were trying to break him out of that mold, but I just don't think you can. I think Harrison Ford is probably a firm smartass, and it just comes through in every role he plays or should. But some of the dialogue in this movie was brilliant, and it was delivered really well, but then it's like it just didn't follow up. And by brilliant, I mean it was smart assy. And it was well done. And this wasn't just a Harrison Ford thing. It was the guys that were on his I guess his crewmen.
Yes.
They had some really good lines. There was one, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he's been in a ton of stuff. But
Richard
he
Mazer.
was yes. And he was drunk at the officer's bar and hitting on this woman. He couldn't get her name right. And it was just hilarious. I mean, there were some really fun parts in this movie. It is not a fun movie, though. And I will say this, if the Harlequin romance book was a movie, it would be this. I'm convinced my mother made me watch this when I was small. Because I'm kind of familiar with it, but it would give you a toothache. It is so romancy sweet. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. Where'd Comment Boy go?
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
My computer died.
But and I am gonna say this: Leslie Ann, is it Down or Warren? I can't remember. There's two of them.
Down.
I get them confused. But
Leslie Ann Down.
she was stunning back in the day.
Pretty lady.
And
Yeah.
she really had that whole 1940s kind of glamour look going on. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I was really surprised that Scott picked it. I was really surprised. But yeah,
I love the
it wasn't
movie.
my favorite, but I will say I don't like that much romance. Just so y'all know, I'm not really a romance girl. Despite the fact I like Dirty
to me,
Dancing.
it was like if I was going to write a romance, that's how I would have written a romance. My favorite scene was when they're interrogating the spy who's the British officer who's playing the German, and like he's doing the whole thing and he's doing it, and all of a sudden Christopher Plummer in the background says, "Put out the cigarette," and he puts it out, and then just yeah.
See, that was the thing about this movie. It had little moments like that in the bar scene that were just brilliant, but the rest of the movie didn't. It could have carried it off. If they had really focused on that aspect, it would have been a much better movie. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing things like that in movies, because you can see the potential. Like maybe this is the kind of movie they should remake for that alone. Those little gold scenes that steal the whole show.
Well, like you said, the part with the air crew. That was some of the best part, with oh gosh, I can't think of the guy's name that played the bombardier. Oh, he was in the thing. He was in the thing. He was a dog handler
in the thing.
Yeah, and he was great. And the other guy was in anyway, some sci-fi movie that's big in the 70s, and they were great. And you knew they were going to die. I hadn't seen this movie. You knew they were going to die just because they were, it was too interesting. But there were bits and parts that were good in this, and then the romance part just kind of was slogged through.
It was too much. It was just too much.
I agree.
And not realistic at all. There was nothing realistic about their romance.
No.
It was too sappy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if they had taken out some of the sap, this would have been a much better movie. And I don't think this was, again, like Dirty Dancing, I don't think it was a bad movie. Another movie that I will never watch again. I had never seen this before. So I was kind of excited to watch it. I mean, especially after we just watched The Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, same stuff, literally the same stuff. You know, this is going to be great. And like Alan said, the scenes inside the plane, they were pretty good. It was kind of tense when you've got, you know, Richard Mazer saying, we need to drop the bombs early and get out of here. Let's do it. And then, you know, a week, and Harrison Ford screaming at him, and then Mazer says, I hate you, and all that stuff. Because they're terrified they're going to get shot down. And we know from Masters of the Air that happened, you know, on the reg.
Yeah.
And then the coin totally flips after Harrison Ford decides, you know, he's in love and he needs to live. And then he's like, yeah, drop your bombs early. Let's go home.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I understand what it was about, of course. It was about, oh, I have something to live for. Now I'm in love and all that stuff. But he just wouldn't do that. It just wouldn't. That just wouldn't happen because that's the character that he had. You know, that was his type of character.
It was definitely out of character.
Plus, it's Harrison Ford, ruggedly handsome, tough guy. Come on, he's not going to drop his bombs early. Forget about it. So I had a big problem with that. In the romance, if they cut the romance out of it, like not out of it, but if they cut it down and made it less sappy, this would have been a fantastic movie. Because I know everybody hates Pearl Harbor and you know, historical accuracies and all that, but it had the right amount of romance for that length of movie.
You're right.
With the action, you know, not my favorite movie either, but I don't hate it like Scott does. I know you hate that movie, Scott, but see, that had the right amount of romance, and it wasn't. I mean, it had its sappy parts too, but this pushed my envelope a little too far. I would probably rank this along the same lines as Dirty Dancing insofar as why I liked it or why I didn't.
Let me just say, I agree with you completely that change of his attitude when he was flying was out of character, but they had to put it in so that butthead commanding officer could send him on the mission. Force him to go on the mission that got his crew killed and then made him get stuck with his lover's husband.
I like the line where they're talking about the flak and they go, oh yeah, today is going to be light flak.
Yeah.
Well,
and I want to say this. I really enjoyed seeing that plane. I've never seen that kind of plane before. That was a new warplane for me.
Oh.
Which
one?
So
that was neat.
Wasn't
it had the person sitting in the nose, which would be the scariest place to ever sit.
Was it a B-25?
Wasn't it?
It was a B-25.
Yeah.
Was it B-20? They only had 5 crewmen, right, on that thing? Or?
I think so.
There was like, no more than 5.
Yeah.
Well, it was small, but it was interesting to see. And like I said, I've never seen one in a film before. But yeah, it was different.
Yeah, I was surprised at how entertained I was by it. I never wanted to see it. I remember when it came out, you know, and you know, I loved Harrison Ford, but it just didn't. It was like Dirty Dancing. It just didn't grab me, you know. But there's parts I enjoyed on this, you know, but I wouldn't watch it again.
If this is a movie I would really like to see them remake and have somebody just tweak that script and take out all that stupid romance stuff. And when I say the stupid romance stuff, what I mean is, y'all, that like they meet, like Scott explained, and then like there's a bomb that goes off, and the next thing you know, she's all over him.
Yeah.
But she's married and in love with her husband, and so it just didn't. There wasn't a lot of realistic character development there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that Harrison Ford is a very sexy man, and you know, back then to have someone so swashbucklingly handsome swoop in, and you know, maybe you would drop your drawers pretty fast, but
I would.
You would?
No. Not the Harris.
Well, I mean, but then the way they portrayed her character, she wasn't like that. But he was the love of her life, I'm guessing. But, she only met him like 24 hours before she just determined this. Anyway, so it was a good, like I said, it's worth watching. And I was surprised, Scott, that I saw some people say that how much they loved this movie, and the people who said it were men.
Wow. Harrison Ford hated making this movie.
Really?
I don't doubt it.
Of course, I don't think there's a movie he enjoys making anyway. I don't know why he's in the movie business, because he never seems to enjoy himself.
Well, I think he likes to fly, though, doesn't he? Isn't he a pilot?
I think he likes the money.
Yeah.
He
likes the booze and the women.
He likes crashing planes.
I think he probably liked making American Graffiti. Did he like making American Graffiti?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, he was new to movies, right?
Yeah.
That was his first role, I think.
Was that, or was Apocalypse Now?
Was he in Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, he's when they come to get Martin Sheen. He's one of the officers in there.
We need to watch that sometime, just for.
Yeah, it's a bit part.
Yeah, it's just tiny.
Now I'm looking it up.
Yeah, we should do Apocalypse Now night sometime.
We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
It's a long movie.
Do our Heart of Darkness now.
Mike,
they made Heart of Darkness a movie, didn't they?
I'm surprised you can't hear Fred in the background. See?
There he is.
Oh, Chassis, is What Lies Beneath the one that he made? Was it with Michelle Pfeiffer, or was it some blonde, wasn't it? With the bathtub scene?
Yeah, I think it was Michelle Pfeiffer or Mackay Pfeiffer, one of those. Some Pfeiffer.
Yep, it's her.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay. I cannot see him having any credit in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, he probably didn't.
Yeah.
What year was Apocalypse Now made? Because American
70 something, wasn't it?
70?
American Graffiti, he apparently did a ton of TV spots. Like from 68 all the way up to his first movie, which was American Graffiti in 73.
So Apocalypse Now didn't come out till 79.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't
there it is.
And I'm looking at a picture of Harrison Ford wearing a pair of glasses and having a cigarette in his mouth in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those moments where you're like, that's Han Solo.
There he is.
What's he doing in this?
Indiana Solo.
Indiana Solo.
Of Darth Vader.
So what are we going to rate this movie, folks?
What do you give it, birthday girl?
I'm going to have to go with a 3.
Scott?
I'm giving it a higher grade than it probably should deserve because I do really like this movie. So 3.75.
Wow. Big man?
I can't get over the love stuff. That was, like I said, that was just not. It was just too icky for me.
I'll also give it a 3. I will not watch this film again, and I'm a big Harrison Ford fan.
Yeah, you're pretty tall. I'm going to give it 2.5. Just because the only scenes worth really watching are the bomber scenes, and then some of the Christopher Plummer hijinks in Germany.
The Officer Club scene. That was the best scene in the movie.
With the women?
And when he just kept getting her name wrong. And...
that was good. That was good. Yeah. He's not in enough movies as a comic actor. What's his name?
Yeah.
Richard Mason.
You're talking about
so we've done Hanover Street, and now who wants to go next?
Oh, we'll let Alan go next.
Oh, Alan.
I don't think that Alan can.
Alan.
Oh, there he is.
My internet sucks down here.
It's working all right now.
You need to get a booster.
Maybe
Are you saying I'm short?
No, a signal booster.
I'm
Are you
tall.
saying I'm
He's
short?
Yes, you're short.
I'll take a look at it later, Craig. Thanks.
Do Deer Hunter, Doc said. Do Deer Hunter.
I don't think I've ever seen Deer Hunter. I've
Really?
seen pieces of it, but I've never seen the whole movie.
Yeah, I've seen the best scenes, but not the movie from front to back.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since it came
the
out.
movie. Yeah, that's
Maybe we could do those two together: Apocalypse
Oh,
Now
there
and
we
Deer
go.
Hunter.
Yeah.
yeah. We could spend an hour doing each one of those movies. So yeah, that's actually not a bad idea for a
Yeah.
2-movie night.
Good idea.
Good idea, guys.
Good idea. Well,
Well,
you
all
want
right, Alan, come on, let's do Deep Impact. I'm ready to go.
Deep Impact and is not a porn movie. I picked this one for you, Hadley, because it had Robert Duvall in it, and I think he's really good in this. You know, I'm sorry if I scarred you a little bit on it. Deep Impact was made in 1998 along with Armageddon. Both movies dealt with a body headed towards Earth and it's going to destroy us, and space crews sent out to destroy the body that's going to come and destroy the Earth. This one, it's a comet. Elijah Wood and Charlie Martin Smith, they discover this comet that's going to hit us. It's the Biedermann Wolf comet, they name it or whatever. Charlie Martin Smith gets all the information. He's driving down the road at night and gets killed in a car wreck. So it delays them finding out that there is a comet headed towards Earth. And the government, as the government does, in secret, they're building bunkers for people to survive in. Taya Leone, this has a big cast, is a news reporter that stumbles across that there's some kind of conspiracy going on. And when she finds out what it is, the president, Morgan Freeman, takes her into his circle of secrecy. And she knows that this is going to be a world-ending event. And she's estranged from her dad, Maximilian, the great Maximilian Schell. And that's another storyline. Elijah Wood and his family trying to get to this bunker is another storyline. Then you've got the crew of the space shuttle that's heading to destroy the comet. They're going to, imagine this, they're going to land on the comet. Have you heard this before? And drill explosives into the comet. New concept, right?
Novel
Maybe we
idea
should get
right
Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck to do that too. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to do that, and they have some issues, and they're not able to put the explosives in deep enough, and they know it. They set off the explosives anyway, but it still does not destroy the comet. There's a piece of it that's going to hit the Earth, and the comet's also going to hit the Earth. So the crew, now headed by Robert Duvall, which Ron Elder, John Favreau, Mary McCormick, Blair Underwood, a bunch of these actors that you know are the crew. And they all decide to sacrifice themselves to save the Earth. And that's pretty, that part's pretty tear jerky, I think, you know, especially them saying goodbye to their families and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we're still here. So obviously it worked. Taya Leone gets together with her dad, Maximilian Schell, at the end, and that scene's kind of tear jerky too, where they're watching this giant wave from the impact. It's going to crush them to death. This is the more serious of the two asteroid comet movies that came out at that time. Armageddon's a lot of fun, where this one is more serious, realistic. You know, I enjoy this movie. A lot of good actors in it, a lot of good special effects. I thought the storyline was pretty good. Armageddon's a lot of fun. You know, what'd you guys think of this one?
Well, I'm going to go. I'm going first. So I've been waiting for 2 weeks to say this. Alan Gamboa needs to read the room when someone wants him to pick a movie for their birthday. This was the most depressing movie to watch, and I watched it on Easter. So I watched it on Easter, and y'all know, like, both of my parents have passed away. I'm currently divorced, and I live alone with 3 dogs. And when the mother, who is divorced and lives alone without her 3 dogs, but the daughter, you know, she's like giving away her goods. And then she commits suicide. I'm like, Alan Gamboa, what were you thinking?
I didn't remember how sad that movie was, and I just remember, I knew Robert Duvall died in it, but I thought it was some really good acting on his part.
Well,
So
hold
that's why I
on, I'm
picked
not
it.
done.
But then I
And
watched it again.
on top of this, Alan, there's the full lunar or full solar eclipse that's happening where people are like preparing for the rapture. And I'm watching this alone yet again. and it is very grim. Because, whereas in Deep Impact, or not Deep Impact, what was Armageddon, like, happy, happy, joy, joy at the end, the world saved. That's not quite the case with this one.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, half of that comet hits the Earth and it kills lots of folks, including half of the cast of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here going, Alan, read the room, dude. But yes, so that was my experience watching Alan's pick for me for my birthday. There were lots of tears involved.
Sorry, I sent you a spinach cake for your birthday. I didn't remember it as that sad until after you said something, then I watched it afterwards. I was like, oh crap.
But no, it was a good movie, and I did enjoy Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall, y'all, he is one of the finest actors of our time. Again, one of these people and I don't think he's underrated. I think everybody knows he's phenomenal, but if you don't see him, I mean, there's some movies that he's made. Secondhand Lines is probably my favorite.
Great movie.
He's in Apocalypse Now. He's in a movie called I'm trying to think what the name of the movie is, because I think I've told y'all we need to watch it. Well, first off, he was in Sling Blade, which I think I'm making y'all watch this year. And there's another movie that came out around that same time period where he plays and I'm just gonna have to look it up, so y'all give me a minute.
Lonesome Dove.
No, I love him in Lonesome Dove, but this is another really powerful movie that he made. Let's see. The Apostle. It's called The Apostle, and it is a movie that he wrote and directed, and he starred in. And this was at the same time that Sling Blade came out, and y'all know what's his name wrote and directed it and starred in it. And so they knew each other and kind of did pieces in each other's movies. But The Apostle is a movie about a evangelical preacher who basically is getting divorced from his wife. She's leaving him because he's violent, and she's got a new boyfriend, and he loses his stuff, goes batshit crazy, and beats the man to death with a bat, and then flees from the law. And it's like what happened, his journey, on the run. And it is really good. But Billy Bob, and my girl knows, she knows. That was a really good one. I think it took place in Texas, and Farrah Fawcett was the wife. But it was a really good movie. Again, it's one of those, I think he got nominated, might have won an Academy Award for. But it was a really good movie. But it's not the normal stuff that we watch. But it's one of those, like, if you ever get a chance to catch it, you should watch it.
All right. So. Yeah, I like him. And a lot of those movies you guys mentioned out there, we've done Secondhand Lions, Open Range.
Yeah.
So watch us on reruns and like us.
Yeah, that's right. We did Open Range a couple of weeks ago. We did Secondhand Lines last year. We're going to be doing Sling Blade this year because Mike Lewis says it was filmed in his hometown or his town of Benton, Arkansas. That is a phenomenal movie too. But yeah, this. Again, it was a good choice, Alan. I'm just whining because I was kind of having a bad day.
Well, Craig said I was an asshole, so I am an asshole.
Own that shit.
Or the wedding singer says, I am an asshole. Yeah. Well, what'd you guys think?
What did I think of Deep Impact? I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Completely overshadowed by Armageddon.
Yeah.
Just because of the stars and who is in it. And like Hadley said, happy, joy, joy at the end of one, and oh shit, we're all going to die at the end of the other one.
Yeah.
I like the like driving up away from the tsunami up the side of the mountain on a bike, on a dirt bike. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought Elijah Wood did really well, but overall, this is kind of a sad movie. Pretty much everybody dies, which is exactly what would happen. So, yeah, I thought it was okay. I will rate this higher than I've rated the other two.
But I'm again going to interject here and say, not a birthday movie. Not a birthday movie.
I am an asshole. Scott?
I love this movie. I like this movie. It is pure apocalypse. There's no comedy. The big scene is when it hits and the tsunami goes. It wipes out Washington. Just when it goes through New York City. It's great footage. Like Rich said, the kid trying to escape with his girlfriend up the mountain on the motorbike as the waves are coming in. But this movie was, like Rich said, this was overshadowed. 2 months later came out Armageddon. And it had an all-star cast. It was a comedy. It was an action film. There was no apocalyptic scenes in this one, except at the beginning, like when it's hitting New York or when it hits, or when it hits Paris. This was just, let's just have a fun movie and stupid scenes right and left, like, when they shoot themselves over the cannon. And, the Russian was the comic relief on that one. He came in halfway through. That movie just blew away Deep Impact. I think if Deep Impact didn't come out, if Armageddon didn't come out until the next year, I think Deep Impact would have done much better. But it is a good movie. I think it's very accurate about what would happen. Morgan Freeman was a great choice as the president. I thought everybody was well cast in it. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd go with Armageddon.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. I still get choked up when Bruce Willis dies, though.
No.
Well, one of the things I liked about this film was the scene where Robert Duvall is at the bar and the young guys are all like just kind of shunning him.
Yeah.
And he tries to go and kind of make peace with them, but their egos just wouldn't really let him. But then when they got up in the air, I mean, he was the guy. He knew. He was calm. He kept it steady. They faced a lot of really, treacherous things, and he, got them through it. I mean, that's why he was there, and they were freaking out,
Yeah.
So
that was a good song, Chassie. That was definitely.
And the scene at the end, one of you mentioned it earlier, when they're getting ready to fly in and everybody is getting their last couple of minutes with the loved one on Earth. And then the woman was flown in with the baby for the guy who lost his son. Yeah, that was a very, very touching, very moving scene.
Yeah.
The scene with Tia Leone gets back together with Maximilian Schell for a couple of minutes. It was those scenes were very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good to see Maximilian Schell in a movie. I'm a big fan of his. The Black Hole, a bunch of the older movies. He always played Longest Day. Yeah, great actor. Yeah. So what do we give this one?
I'll give this one a 3.5.
Scott?
3.75.
Birthday girl?
3.5.
I'll give it 3.5 too.
And I'll say that I'm giving it that high because I want Morgan Freeman to be my president, because I love Morgan Freeman.
How many times has he been president now?
Well, I mean, we could only wish that he'd be our incoming one, but we're not going to go there tonight. But yes, I love me some Morgan Freeman. He soothes me with his calmness.
3 times, Doc said. And yeah, Maximilian Schell is good in Vampires. That was his I guess one of his last movies. He was getting kind of
He was the priest.
yeah.
Yes.
I hadn't seen him for a while until I saw Vampires. You know.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to do Yummy? Not me. I'm not it.
I can do Yummy.
Who's got?
But I got to make it quick because I've got to step out in 5 minutes.
All right, go for it, man.
Right. So
How fast can you talk?
I can talk pretty fast. I've got to tell you. So Yummy is a movie about a young lady who wants to go to Eastern Europe to get a breast reduction. And they get to this sort of bombed out building hospital, and her mom and her boyfriend are with her, and they go in there, and there's a doctor that's been experimenting with stem cells. You have a zombie outbreak. The gore is phenomenal. The story is actually not terrible. I mean, you have to go into this movie understanding. The movie's name is Yummy, by the way. You have to go into this movie understanding what it is. It's a Belgian film made in 2019, so you're not going to know any of the actors in this film at all. And they go into Eastern Europe to get the procedure done. Zombie outbreak happens, and it's your typical trapped in a place and they're trying to get out. And that's pretty much it. Moral of the story: keep your boobs. Don't get them fixed. If they're too big, they're not too big. So
I'm keeping mine.
Right. I liked it. I thought it was okay. It certainly wasn't groundbreaking. It's never going to win any type of award anywhere. I think it was a Shudder original too. I think it was made for Shudder, and it's subtitled in I think Belgian and Russian, but most of the movie is spoken English. So it was weird in that it did that. Yeah, you had the three geographical areas represented, but it was okay. I mean, if you're looking for your typical bad zombie movie, this is like on the high end of the bad movies, I think.
Yeah.
That's about all I can say, I guess.
It's pretty gross.
We gotta leave. Yeah, it was definitely gory. There's a couple of really cool gore scenes if that's what you're into. A couple of just like, you want to look away too, but it was it's gooey. It's not just gory, it's gooey. So there's a lot of that. What did you guys think?
The two female stars were very outstanding. I agree with Rich. What I loved about this movie was they did weird things with zombies.
Yeah.
That like there was one, they walk into a room and this female zombie is eating herself because there's no humans to eat. And I was thinking, man, that's awesome. But yes, it's a GB movie. It's got blood, gore, great zombies, a lot of zombie action. And if you love cheap zombie movies, you got to watch this one.
Like Rich said, it's a step above. And I was planning on having chili dogs after I watched the movie, but no. No. It's got, like you said, it's got some things going on that's different. It's not horrible. If you're looking for a zombie movie, it's not the worst you could do.
All right, boss. What do you got, birthday girl?
There was nothing yummy about this movie. Absolutely nothing. It was good. I would definitely recommend it. I would say that it's one of the better zombie movies that's come out in the last couple of years. Yeah. If you are like me and are constantly looking at, Amazon Prime to see what the latest zombie movies are out, I would say this is one of the better ones. But I enjoyed it. It was a different take on it. I liked the whole Eastern Europe thing. I liked the fact that it just had a total different vibe. The vibe was very different. Like they go into the hospital, she's having surgery. Her boyfriend, who's got the worst luck ever, he's there's things that are wrong. He's trying to get her to stop. He busts in there not once but twice to get her to stop, and they just think that he's just having a moment and he's really trying to save the day, but he's just, again, not the best with his words.
He's the one who released the zombie.
Yeah.
He tried to save
the end of the world.
I was thinking, I'm not going to get into details because it is 10 o'clock and we've been on for an hour. So or I say 10 o'clock my time, but it's 11 o'clock y'all's time. So it was really good. I would say that I'm going to give this a 4. Thank you, Rich, for providing me with new zombie fodder.
Fantastic.
I'll give it a 3.5 because I really wanted chili dogs that night. I just could not. The thought of it. No.
I give it a 3.75, but that's a strong one. I mean, this movie is definitely worth it. It's not the movie itself isn't worth a 5, but just the zombies, the zombie gore, the zombie kills, 3.75.
What was
Check
the
it
little what was the little amphibian animal that bit the guy on the leg, by the way, before we jump off?
I don't know. That
one of
was
the test subjects,
yeah, just one of the test subjects.
which he was a dumbass and he knocked it over and it shattered and it escaped. And it was running around the whole time. And he bit him, but he stomped on it. This was much like Deep Impact. Everybody dies in this movie. So
The moral of this movie is don't get engaged in Eastern Russia or get your size F boobs reduced.
Yes,
Right.
that's the moral. Don't mess with your boobs.
And
There
the
you go.
funny thing was, there was no nude shots in this.
No,
There
no,
were.
well, not of her.
Not
Yeah.
of her,
No,
but there
no,
were.
no.
A couple of
But I mean, the two
other
main
young ladies that were.
main stars were very well endowed, and yet all you saw of them were bras.
Mike Lewis, you just gave me one, so thank you for the birthday gift.
Well, happy birthday, Hadley.
Yeah,
Yes.
happy birthday, boss.
Get her
Yes.
for it.
37.
Yay.
Again.
Asshole.
Asshole.
You are the asshole, Rich.
You are the asshole. Yeah, I
All
didn't
right.
make her cry on Easter, pal.
True. I am the asshole.
Bunch of assholes.
All right,
That's why
kids.
we're so
Well,
loved.
tomorrow
There you
night, I'm going to try and join the crew at Weird Awakenings. They are going to be talking about Nikola Tesla. If you'd like to join us, tune in. The time is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 7 Central, and I think that's 5 Pacific. But they're doing great things over there. Always fun to hang out with that crew. And everybody show up. It's always welcome.
All right.
All right. Ciao, everyone.
Thanks for
Ciao.
coming.
Thank you. Hadley, again, happy birthday.
Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
birthday.
Y'all made it special.